Hello everyone, and welcome back to Demize here at PAX Unplugged 2019. Today we are sitting down with Zach Connelly of Royal End Games.
Yep, hi. Thanks for having me.
And we're going to do another one of our Jenga interviews.
All right.
So for those of you who don't know, our Jenga interview format is that we'll take turns pulling blocks, and the blocks have certain colors. The red ones are about the games that you've designed and published, and then the blue ones are about the board game industry, and the green ones are whatever I can think of.
Awesome.
So let's go ahead and dive in, and you get the first pull.
Oh, real question. What
Yes.
do I get for winning? Because I am going to win this game.
I mean, based on the fact that you've designed a game that is all about dexterity and stacking different things, I don't doubt
Does
it.
not mean I'm good at it. No. Okay.
All right.
I'll dive right in. Let's see. Let's start off with something about the game. Here we go. Let's not knock it over on the first try.
Alrighty.
Excellent.
Awesome. There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect. All right, so Lots. That is
Lots.
the game that is currently, you guys already started getting like shipments, pallets.
Yeah, I mean, we finished up the Kickstarter back in, I guess, the end of September, and 8 weeks later, it's on a boat, ready to come over. I mean, we launched this Kickstarter knowing exactly what the product was supposed to be, exactly who we were using for manufacturing. We were 90% done. We just needed funding. And yeah, the manufacturer expedited everything as quickly as possible, got it on the boat. We're ready to go. I'm really excited to get this out to everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like the design process behind Lots.
The design process behind Lots. So previously, my first two games were all about fighting, either wrestling and hitting each other with chairs, or building combinations of robots and shooting each other with rocket launchers. And then I became a dad, and I decided I wanted to make a game that I could one day play with my kids. And feel comfortable about not aiming guns at them. And that's when I started gluing blocks together to make little Tetris blocks that I bought on Amazon. And I started just making this stacking game. I'm teaching my son how to literally stack blocks as a child. Why not make a game about it?
Exactly.
And I know it's not a new concept. Stacking is definitely a genre of gaming. But this one I was really excited about because of the Tetris feel. It instantly clicks with the parents. Kids enjoy it because of that stacking element. And as it developed, I started finding ways to make it less about the dexterity and more about the planning. The color coordination, the spatial recognition. It actually became more of a puzzle rather than a Jenga.
And that's one of the things I loved about it, because like it really is like, there's the stacking aspect, and you got to put them down right, and if you knock them over, you lose your points. But at the same time, it's just like you have to know where to put them, and like how to mess someone up, and how to get things, use the right blocks in the right way, and things like that.
As it went through development, we actually started referring to it as the threat of dexterity, because I mean, you've played it before. It doesn't fall over a lot, and even if it does fall over, it doesn't end the game. The game keeps going. That's something we did so that if you are playing with younger children who perhaps aren't as good at dexterity, it doesn't kill the game. You're not resetting up. You keep going and you're just having a good time. I think it plays in a tight 20 to 30 minutes. Which 100%. For the family market, you don't kind of want to go outside of.
Exactly. Alrighty. So let's say my poll. What do we got? Oop, that one's a little bit.
There you go.
There we go. That one's easy. Awesome. All right. So the Kickstarter for Lots really blew up.
In comparison to our other two, absolutely.
So how was that like entire thing where it's just like, Lots started getting so much traction, so much more attention?
So I will say partially, it's about social media presence. I think what a lot of independent publishers do is present themselves as a company. As someone selling a product. I've been in these groups for years. I've made relationships. We've networked. I invited you to our whiskey night.
Yep, exactly.
And you were at whiskey night. It wasn't about business.
No.
It's about interacting with each other. And I mean, honestly, that's what games are for.
Exactly.
You know, interacting with each other. There's so much that we do solitary that this is what brings us together.
Yeah.
Because of that, I think the longer I've been part of these communities online, I think the enthusiasm for the game, compounded with, you know, just relationships that you've made with people, really helped build up those first few days. And anyone who's ever run a Kickstarter knows that those first few days are crucial.
Yep.
So, you know, we got over our funding goal on day 3, and I don't want to say coasted the rest of the way, but a nice steady climb the rest.
Smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing, which, I mean, again, was not the case with the other two. Those were usually like waiting for that 48-hour email to go out to just get over the hump.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a different experience. It was very satisfying to just know game's ready. We could start unlocking some stretch goals.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that you guys already had it all ready.
Well, yeah, so even with our other 2 games, that's Main Event and Deathbot Derby, they were ready. The art's done. We know what the game was. The rule books were already made. It's not like this rough concept that we're putting out. We had a product.
Yeah.
We already price out our manufacturers. All of our contractors have been paid.
Yeah.
The Kickstarter is always about making enough money to get the product out.
Yeah.
A lot of people will add all of those funds into their Kickstarter goals.
Yeah.
You know, they need $20,000 to get this game made. The way I see it is, I already paid the artist.
Yeah.
If the project doesn't fund, I still lost that money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
I've already paid for the prototypes. If the project doesn't fund, still gone.
Yeah.
So I don't include those things, and I usually go for lower stretch goal. Lower funding goals.
Yeah.
Just to get this thing out, and then I kind of go on good faith that after the Kickstarter, the game has some legs and it'll be able to sell in distribution. That's how I try to make my money back on the back end.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
All right.
I almost knocked this over by punching the table. Interview over.
I know. That's how you can end it. Your pull, though.
All right. Here we go.
What do we got?
It's not going to be that one.
Yep.
Oof. Who built this tower? Come on.
These blue ones just don't want to come out today.
No, those are, they must have swelled up.
So, how did you start playing board games?
I got my start in, I got my start in board games by playing games with my family as a child.
Yeah.
How I got my start in hobby board gaming, I would say that we used to play, role-playing games.
Yeah.
Everyone would come over to the house, we'd get the campaign together, every 2 weeks. As we started getting older, it was harder to get the same group together.
Yep.
You'd have 5 people who are supposed to meet up, 2 can't make it, and you're not going to run a bunch of NPCs to keep things going.
Yeah.
So we wound up busting out board games to fill in the time for the people who actually did show up. It started off with Munchkin. I know a lot of people, poo-poo about Munchkin, but hey, it's
a good starting point.
That's where I came from. A lot of take that, a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
Was it the best game? No. But did it get us into the hobby? Did it get us excited? Did it keep us interacting at the table? That's what inspired me to start getting into game design.
And that's what matters, right?
Right.
Exactly. Whatever game it is that got you into the hobby, it always holds a special place.
Absolutely.
And so, even if you don't play it anymore, it's still always a good game to be like, that's what started me. So,
that's what started?
Yeah. Or
okay.
Well, Munchkin was one of my first, but I think that the actual first, I forget exactly what it was. I think it was probably Seven Wonders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, all right. So my poll. Let's see. Oh, well, that one's easy.
Yeah. Wait. Where was that one? Like 5 minutes ago.
Royal End Games. Give me the story behind this name.
Okay. So first off, do not name your company after an inside joke from your childhood that nobody gets. Royal N Games is actually Royal None Such Games. That's the N. And the Royal None Such was a character in Huck Finn.
Okay. Yeah.
big crazy naked dude running around.
Yep.
That was the ska band that I was in back in high school.
Gotcha.
So it always held a place in my heart, royal nutsuch to just fun times.
Yeah.
So when I came to naming a company, I named it after that, even though I haven't spoken to any of those guys in probably about 10 years.
Well, there you go.
So
I mean,
the only people who would get it, they have no idea where I am.
though it is unique, so like it's not just like another like meeple something or like wizard or something like that.
What was the joke going around the internet for a while? Animal Action Games, which is just a name generator.
Yep, exactly. So you got that going. Like even if they don't get the joke, they'll get your name.
They'll get the name.
Yeah. All right, your pull.
All right, let's see if we can get a random one out here.
That one's going.
All right, there you go. We got a random green.
Okay.
What do you got?
So, if you were to live in any game world, which one would you choose?
Any game world. Do I want to survive this world?
I mean, that's up to you. Like, is it worth to just go there to see it?
I'm gonna go very leisurely and calm on this one. I would like to retire to the game of Sunset Over Water with my wife, where we no longer have jobs, and in the morning we're gonna wake up and paint landscapes of mountains and babbling brooks.
I love it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good.
Or go pandemic and just go real dark. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you could go for something like Zombicide Black Plague and then just try to fight all the zombies or something.
I say let's play it safe
Yeah.
and go with a nice calm retirement. That's the dream.
I like it. Awesome. All right, my pull. There we go.
Excellent.
Red. Okay. So tell me about your first game that you published.
My first game, main event, was a wrestling-themed card game.
Yep.
And at the time when I was making it, this was the most brilliant game in the world. No one's ever thought to use cards this way. I was young and naive.
As are we all.
But it was definitely something I was proud of, and I still am proud of, because it was an incredible learning experience. One of the things I learned was I am not an artist, I'm a plumber. And I did my own art for that game.
Yep.
It was amateurish, to say the least. I knew nothing about the manufacturing world, very little about the industry, and I just went into this starry-eyed and excited, and, getting my family and friends and people online to kind of come together and be like, hey, you got to check this out. No one's ever made a game like this before. Great learning experience, okay game, if I'm being honest. But the lessons that I took away from it led me to my next game, which was Deathbot Derby, and hired a great artist, learned a lot about manufacturing. So really just all around made a better product and a better game. And as you flex those muscles, they get stronger. So
it's okay.
But so I'll always appreciate it as my first and what got me into design and even publishing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So I think it's your pull now.
My pull. Let's go for this. I'm gonna scooch you out of the way real quick. Let's see what I got here. Let's see if we got anything in the front that's coming out easy.
All righty. Awesome. What are your other hobbies?
Other hobbies. Does watching a lot of television count as a hobby?
I mean, it can.
I would say between my work life, my family life, and my game life, that takes up most of my time. For the most part, leisure after that is just sitting down, enjoying a little TV, rewatching old shows that I've probably seen 1,000 times. Anything Joss Whedon ever made.
Good choices.
Probably gets watched in full each year. So hobbies, not so many. I used to have more when I had more time. I used to be big into paintball, and things like that, but it's an expensive hobby to maintain, unlike board games.
Yes. Very, very true.
So inexpensive. Everyone should get into it and buy a copy of lots.
Exactly.
There you go.
I mean, the price point is pretty great. So, All right, so what have I got now? All right, so what is your favorite con to go to?
So my favorite con to go to is still Origins. I know it's 5 days of gaming, but there's something so unbelievably relaxed about the way Origins is run. Not to shame PAX, but it kind of seems like there's one entrance for us to all siphon into this year. Origins is just very free-flowing. If you find an open door, that's the one to come in. You know, you can take meetings, you cannot take meetings. There's food all over the place. It's just the most relaxed 5 days of gaming that I can experience.
I was actually talking to some of my friends last night about just how short PAX U feels. It's just like, it's already Sunday, and I'm like, I still have so much I want to do.
And fitting in all those meetings, right? Like it's at a certain point, you realize I've overbooked all of this and given myself no time to actually enjoy the convention. That's actually why PAX is not a convention that we tend to work. This is something I come to with my wife. We're based in New York, so we drive in to Philly. It's very easy, and we just enjoy the convention. We go around, we look at other people's booths, we play other people's games. This is not something that I want to be on the job for, because as you said, it's a little too short.
Exactly. Alrighty, your poll.
Let's go. Ooch. Excellent.
There we go.
Cool.
Alrighty. So your second game, what was the name of that again?
Deathbot Derby.
Deathbot Derby. Tell me a bit about that game.
Okay, so Deathbot Derby came out around the time where BattleBots was back on the air.
I thought that might be a little bit of an inspiration.
Yes, it was. Also, looking into it, the IP for BattleBots was way out of my price range for someone so independent, you know? So instead of calling it BattleBots, which I originally wanted to do, we went with Deathbot Derby. But essentially, you draft in the beginning of the game different components like ranged weapons, melee weapons, movement, and then a secret weapon, something that's hidden. Because who doesn't like a little hidden information in a game? Actually, abstract people, they don't like hidden information in a game. That's the answer.
True.
And other than that, Deathbot Derby really was an abstract game, because once you've made your robot, you're moving around a grid of cards with different hazards on them, like buzzsaws, bombs, things like that. And you're just trying to get within range to eliminate your opponent, do as much damage as you can while not leaving yourself prone to taking damage on the next turn. So it was a very ebb and flow kind of game. You had 2 actions each turn. You could attack, you could move twice if you really just needed to run away from someone. You could attack twice if you thought you had the firepower to really blow them out of the water. Quick game, again, about 20 minutes, definitely in my wheelhouse. And that one, I want to say, struggled a bit on Kickstarter until we offered a 4-player mode. So it was a 2-player game, and in the middle of the campaign, we actually introduced a 4-player team battle where there's now red team versus blue team, because
that's cool.
People really like getting bang for their buck. The more people they can get in on the game, the better. And 2-player games struggle on Kickstarter. Not all of them. Not all of them.
But I agree. And also, from personal preference, for me, I love team versus team games. Anything that has me teaming up with someone else and working against others, something like that, it's a lot of fun. So that would definitely have been that was interesting. Oh, now has a team mode. All right, I'm in.
There you go. And that's actually what did it for us. After we introduced that, we got over that hump. And then just another game came out. Not a lot of people heard about it, but it did well in its own market. And hey, had a lot of fun doing it.
Exactly, had a lot of fun doing it, and now you have your own copy of it in your own game with like full everything. So.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not something I do to keep the lights on. This is I consider myself a hobby publisher.
Yep.
This is what I do for fun. You know, it's not what I do to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Let's see if I can pull something here. Nope, not you for sure. How about you? You're not gonna. You don't want to slide out at all. All right. Getting dangerous here. That area. All right. Do you have a favorite like game mechanic that you have used in your games? Like one that you're just like, I am proud of this. I love this.
One that I've used in my games.
Yes. And then you can give me
actually,
one that
I'm actually going to say, in the game of Lots,
Yeah.
I am proud of the catch-up mechanism.
Yes.
It was not something original to the design. Originally, players were given those purple cubes as a resource that they could just spend throughout the game. And it worked fine. But towards the end of development, we started seeing some people were just getting the doors blown off of them, especially with parents playing with children.
Yep.
Parents are naturally better at spatial recognition and color coordination. So we introduced a catch-up mechanism where the last player to pass over either a purple cube or a hard hat gets a bonus. It's a little something to help them cheat in the game and really tightens up the scoring. It's kind of like reverse patchwork catch-up mechanism. You know how the first person to get to the little patch gets it as an extra? This is to help someone stay invested in the game and really just feel like they haven't already lost. In fact, we played a version the other night. The guy who was losing, everyone counted him out. There's no way he's winning it. Last turn, nailed it. Nailed it. Came from behind. It was a huge upset. And that's what we like to go for, especially in a short game like that. You want those aha moments.
Exactly. And I mean, that was one of the things that stood out to me with Lots, is just that there was this additional catch-up mechanic that meant that like whenever you would go, if you're losing, you still have that ability of just like, I got this extra thing, and this one little piece is going to block and put it into like this layer, and it's going to get me the points for this, and then do this.
Like, I mean, there's nothing worse than, especially during playtesting, watching somebody mentally check out of your game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they've already decided, I'm going to lose Jenga on the next turn when I pull this block. They've already decided they're done. What's the point? They start pulling out their phone. They're not into it. This kept people invested.
Yes, 100%.
And I was very excited about the way that turned out.
Cool. All right, your pull.
I'm going from the bottom. Let's see how this goes.
There you go.
All right.
Awesome. So I was really impressed with the artwork of Lots, especially that you had so much diversity and inclusion in it.
That was not accidental. Claire Donaldson did the artwork, and she just has done phenomenal work on other games like Go Nuts for Donuts. She did the follow-up to Best Treehouse Ever. I think that's Forest of Fun. And she just had this fun family style that I really wanted. Not exactly the style I used in a game like Deathbot Derby, but
I mean, it would still be very interesting. I mean,
and really, I just gave her loose guidelines. I want these type of characters. I want as much representation as possible, and she ran with it. She came back with, I mean, some really interesting characters. Different races, genders, handy capabilities. You know, and it's important. It's important for people who are, as I said, interacting at the table to feel like they are part of the game, that they're immersed into it, that they can see a little bit of themselves in it.
Yep, I completely agree. So I was really impressed with that. And also the logo's really great.
You know what? The logo is very polarizing. Some people can see that that's a word, and other people just see it as shapes. And
really?
Yep. Something about the brain. I don't know if it's a right or left thing. If you actually watch on the Dice Tower, they looked at it. They're like, if I saw that on a shelf, I wouldn't know what the name of the game was. Some people it works with, some people it doesn't. But it actually is the different blocks of the game that makes up the name.
All right. Well, I got this one.
Random. All right.
Let's go there. And question that we'd love to ask everyone that's
Sure.
on Jenga Interviews. What is your favorite donut?
My favorite donut.
Yep.
The French cruller. It's not the most
Good choice.
exciting donut, but I love a good French cruller and a cup of black coffee. That's a great way to start a morning.
Yep, exactly. And
Yep.
they don't have to be the most fancy donuts to be our favorites.
All right. There we go. Aha.
Okay. If you were stuck on a desert island and had to bring one game that you could play, what game would it be?
One game that I can play, or if it was just to bring one game, I'd say Gloomhaven, so I could use it as a boat to get home. One game that I could play. Am I alone on this island?
You have a little coconut buddy who has started to get his own personality.
Yeah, but he's really bad at it. Okay. I would say fun game to bring would be Plague Inc. I really like Plague Inc.
Yeah.
And although it would be terrible to play with a coconut, it's one of my favorite games.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't played it myself, but I've heard good things about it. I've played the app version.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, everyone looks at Plague Inc. and thinks, oh, it's just a reskinning of Pandemic. Not at all. This is an area control game. I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Awesome. I'll have to definitely check that out.
Yep.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna go for.
Oh, come on.
Happen to choose
that
one
came
for
out too
round.
easy. That piece almost pulled itself out.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like it was waiting. So, in terms of the board game industry, like, what is like your favorite part of like the community that you have here around like just board games and things like that?
I actually think I'm pretty good at learning names. So I like coming to conventions like these and just from across the room going, hey, Jacob, how you doing? That's actually how I lost my voice the first night at the whiskey party.
Yep.
Just calling out to people, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You know, what have you been? I love the interaction of it. I know that's not really industry work, well, unless you consider networking.
Exactly.
But meeting people, I really think that's my favorite part of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great part.
I mean, heck, I met you at
exactly.
what was that? The Pledge Manager party, right?
That one.
And
Yeah.
just another great time. I love a good party, and I love meeting new people.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Your poll.
All right, let's do this. Let's see if I can find one that comes out as not that one. Gotcha.
If you were to choose one dinosaur as a pet, which one would it be?
One dinosaur as a pet. Does the dinosaur like me? Sorry for all the follow-up questions.
No. This is good to clarify.
Okay.
The dinosaur, you're able to train it.
Good. Velociraptor.
Yep.
Like if it doesn't like me, I'm not picking that dinosaur. We're going Brontosaurus all the way. But speed, agility, ferocious. Let's go for a Velociraptor.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Not you. Not you. All of you are getting very difficult to pull. Is this gonna come out?
You got it. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, damn.
Now we put our hands up and go Jenga.
I mean, the Jenga Tower falls, the interview ends. This is the first time I've been the one to knock down the Jenga Tower.
I told you
Holy shit.
I wasn't intending on losing this.
Yeah, you have won. You have won the Jenga interviews. Congratulations.
Thanks, bud.
But I will leave you off with one more question on this one about the game. So you have a giant version of Lots.
I do have a giant version of Lots, yes. As I said, the game was 90% done by the time we went to Kickstarter, and there was this weird 2 or 3 week period where I had nothing to do. I had no quotes or invoices or contractors to interact with, so I went out into the yard and I started cutting foam blocks and spray painting them. I went online and I made a giant board just for the fun of it, because in my mind, this is a small game.
Yeah.
You bring this to a convention, and even though it has table presence because you're stacking and it's colorful, it would drown in a convention like PAX Unplugged.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be seen.
Yeah.
It's a small game. So I started thinking to myself, if I ever start bringing this to conventions, if it's successful, what do I want the booth to look like?
Yeah.
I want no tables. I want no chairs.
Yeah.
I just want a giant version of this game with big, chunky Tetris blocks that people are going to see from across the row.
Yeah.
And they're going to come over and they're going to see other people playing it because nothing gets eyes on a game like other people already playing it.
100%. Yeah.
So that's my way to bring in the customers. And if they enjoyed the giant one, hey, why don't you take a small one home while you're at it?
Exactly. So that's what got me in for the game. Like, that's how I met you first, when it was just like, oh, what is this giant game that people are playing that are stacking blocks?
My favorite part was that you actually started teaching the game while I went to go grab a beer. I was like, I'm done teaching this. I'm going to go enjoy the party. And there's some guy just showing other people how to play it.
Yep, exactly. And I mean,
not a super hard game to
I was going to say, like,
or teach.
to its credit, it's really easy to learn. Where it's just like, it took me one gameplay. I was like, all right, cool. Now I know how to do it. And it's awesome. All right, well, Zach, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, bud.
For all of you, thank you for tuning in, and definitely stay tuned for more coverage of PAX Unplugged. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.